Hello and welcome or welcome back to the Import Export Hub channel, everybody. Bias Bogdan here, your not so entertaining host for the next couple of minutes. Thanks for joining me, and guys, without nicely asking you to hit those small buttons below this video, let's see what my one-of-a-kind and famous crystal ball told me when asked about what products to import from Denmark. Joke aside, guys, of course I'm kidding. Let's pass through the 5 products that are worth importing from Denmark. And sadly, I will start with some meat. Sorry, my veggie friends, Denmark has a competitive advantage here, in case you didn't know this. So I had to include this product, and basically we see some $2.75 billion worth of exports in 2022. With China, Japan, and Germany as the main destinations, followed by others like, I don't know, Italy, the United States, or the Philippines. This last one with some $50 million worth of imports from Denmark. The compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years is more or less 1%, which is understandable as we are facing a mature market. Denmark is well known worldwide, so you can't expect big variability here. But narrowing the analysis on a year-on-year basis, we see that in 2022 we have almost 12% contraction in relative terms and some $364 million in absolute ones. Quite big, if you ask me, but then again we have to factor in, and let's face it, comparing a so-called normal year like, I don't know, 2022 with a pandemic one like 2021 is not necessarily fair. But anyways, coming back to the year-on-year dynamics, we see that China had the largest contraction in absolute terms, some $359 million, while on the expansion side, Poland had the largest one. Again, in absolute terms, some $37 million, with the Philippines here as my bet in terms of export potential for the next 5 years. Now, in what concerns the main drivers from this heading, for both China and the United States, we have the same ones. So we are talking about subheading 020329, more precisely frozen meat of swine, excluding here carcasses, half carcasses, hams, shoulders, and cuts thereof. Moving now, guys, to my second recommendation. We have here heading 9027. So we are talking about instruments and apparatus for physical or chemical analysis, with some $736 million worth of exports in 2022, which is almost 2.5% more relative to the previous year, with the United States here, China, and Poland as the main destinations, which were followed by others like, I don't know, Japan, France, or India, to mention just a couple from this top 10 list. The United States, China, and Poland alone account for roughly 44-45% in Denmark's overall exports from this heading, while the top 10 make for roughly 70%, which is quite good if you ask me, especially if you factor in the geographical coverage of these exports. Now, relative to the year-on-year changes, we have a 2.4% increase, which is almost $17.5 million. If I were to put a dollar figure to the percentage, with the United States having the largest increase, $25 million, while on the other side, guys, Japan had the largest decrease, some $4.8 million. As for the main drivers, well, towards Japan we have microtoms, while towards India we have subheading 902730. Hold on, so we are talking about spectrometers, spectrophotometers, and spectrographs using optical radiation. Whoa, I've made it. I knew I didn't like physics. So these were the main drivers, a couple of examples, and now I will move to my third recommendation, and we have here heading 0304. fish fillets, and other fish meat, with almost $889 million worth of exports in 2022, which is 5% more relative to 2021. And we have here Germany, France, and Italy as the main partners, followed by others like, I don't know, the United States, Israel, or Portugal. Relative to the cumulative value, the top 10 partners make up for 82% in Denmark's overall exports from this heading, quite concentrated, especially if you look at Germany. But on the other hand, all these partners, all these top 10 partners are developed countries with, I don't know, health conscious populations, not that price sensitive. So personally, I don't think that things are going to be threatened by the big exposure in terms of export concentration. Now, in what concerns the year-on-year changes, Germany and France were the top performers in terms of absolute positive change, with $27 and $14 million respectively, while on the negative side, other territories from Europe had the largest change, some $11 million. And just for fun, guys, watch how stable are Denmark's exports towards the United States in 2021 and 2022, just $8,000 positive change. And if you ask me, most probably is related to some kind of contract. But anyways, moving now to my fourth recommendation, we have heading 8433, sorry. So harvesting or threshing machinery with some $285 million worth of exports in 2022, which is some 2% more relative to 2021, with the United States, Germany, and France as the top 3 partners, which were followed by others like, I don't know, Canada, the United Kingdom, or the Netherlands. This last one importing some $8.4 million worth of goods from this heading in 2022. As I've said, the year-on-year change was positive. The largest absolute positive change happening in relation to the United States, some $12.5 million more exports, while on the negative side, again in absolute terms, France was the performer with some $5.8 million fewer imports from Denmark. As for the main drivers, well, towards France we have parts of harvesting machinery, so we are talking about subheading 843390, while towards Sweden we have here mowers for lawns, parts, or sports grounds, so subheading 843311. And lastly, guys, my fifth and last recommendation for you comes from heading 0406, cheese and curd, with almost $2 billion worth of exports in 2022, which is 13% more relative to 2021, almost $219 million in absolute terms. It's a lot if you ask me, and we see that the main export destinations are Germany, Sweden, and the United Kingdom, which were followed by others like, I don't know, Finland, Japan, or South Korea, again, to mention just a couple from this top 10 list. From what I can see here, on a year-on-year basis, only Finland and Norway had negative changes from this top 10 list, with 1 and 13% respectively, while on the other side of the table, if you want, so we are talking about positive changes, Germany had the largest increase, at least in absolute terms, some $74 million. And lastly, guys, in what concerns the main drivers from this heading, for both the United Kingdom and South Korea, we have the same one, so 040610, and we are talking about fresh cheese, including whey cheese. And guys, with this being said, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I really hope that you've liked it. Don't forget to hit whatever button you like below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.